Hey guys, welcome back. Alright, so this is going to be my Maxpedition Tool Kit. And I don't want you to get confused with a survival kit, because it's not. Ideally, what I put in here are the things that I think I might need on any given basis. However, I'm not going to be carrying this with me every single day. Most likely, it'll be stored somewhere in my vehicle, somewhere at work. I have taken this on hunting trips and camping trips. So it's more like a base type of kit. Some of the things that I put in here are survival related. However, it is not necessarily just for survival. It's just a little extra added comfort that I feel if I had redundancy, it's better than to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Now the bag is a Maxpedition Gear Beefy Pocket Organizer. It is one of the biggest and fattest organizers you can get. It does have MOLLE capable and a carrying handle. With all the stuff that I have packed in here, it is a 5-pound pouch. And the idea, again, behind that is it is more of a base camp type of pouch with some of the tools that I might need for either repairs of gear, tents, ATV, maybe a mechanical thing, maybe something went wrong with my gun or rifle, or maybe I just need to hang pictures in the office. So that type of thing is something I like to put inside of a pouch, and if it's organized, it's a lot easier for me to get it out and do what I need to do with it. Alright, so I don't keep anything on the outside. I am a big, huge component of keeping things organized and put together. And as you can see, there's a lot of stuff in here and it's packed away, and again, this is not a survival kit, it's a tool kit. I'm going to go through all these things, each and every one of them, and some of the needs are going to, some of the things in here are going to be a little bit multi-purpose, and some of the things might be a little bit redundant, but again, like I said, I'm not carrying it, so I don't really mind. Base camp or wherever I need it is good to go. So we'll start from the left. In the back pouch, I carry the Craftsman set of bits or screwdrivers. These are some torque, some are flathead, and some are Phillips head, and you can see the numbers right there if you look at it. Ideally these are made for electronics, but I find that if you have ever broken a pair of sunglasses or reading glasses or something like that, then you know that these things come in quite handy. This is part of the sewing kit. It is a patch. I'll get into that in a minute. Alright, also back here I have what's called a fire shield, or I think they call this a pocket smoke mask. Ideally this is good to have on your person at all time. This is most likely going to go into my EDC bag, but I keep it in here for now so I don't lose it. This will give you 20 minutes of free air in case of a fire, so if you are bringing a kit like this, let's say to an office building, or someplace that you need to evac from, at least you'll have 20 minutes to get the hell out. Ultimately, it's pretty decent, but these things cost about $40 a piece. They're not cheap, so you know, make sure that you have it available when you need it. Also, if you're someone that is a commuter, I know there's a lot of people that take the train to work. That's actually an excellent EDC item. This is just a little memorandum book. It's not Write in the Rain. I don't really care about Write in the Rain. I think, you know, it's good to have, but whatever you have is better than nothing. This is a Bic lighter. Nothing special about that. I have a Sharpie, which obviously goes for writing. This is my flashlight that I put in here. I might change it out. This is the Streamlight Stylist Pro. It takes AAA batteries. It has an excellent throw, and I like this a lot. I switched that out, my EDC items, from here to there, and I kind of like to have that as a small pocket flashlight. This is a 16 gigabyte flash drive, because you never know what you're going to need to copy or take with you. You can take your documents with you and all that other stuff, but make sure they are password protected. Inside here I also have a tweezers, multiple uses for that. You get splinters, whatever, minor surgeries, etc. This is a honing rod that I use for my knives. All this stuff you can get on Amazon, by the way. It works great with any type of knife, scissor, something like that. So that's why I use a honing rod as opposed to a flat stone. you know, to each his own. Whatever you want to use just as long as you're keeping your tools sharp. Okay. Inside here I also have another screwdriver set. These bits are pretty small, but it is dual purpose. You have a Phillips and a flathead. This is made by Stanley. It's plastic. It's extremely lightweight, and I think it's very beneficial. I've had these before, and I know I have a Leatherman in here, but ultimately sometimes you need something a little bit easy to use, a little bit more dexterous. Another pen, marker, pen, whatever. I know there's a lot of people say get space pens. Space pens are great, and I do have one, but I use it every day. That's why it's not in here. I have a Craftsman 6-inch adjustable wrench. Multiple uses for that. As you can see, it is nice and dirty because I use it all the time. So you can't go wrong with adjustable wrench. I know there's a Leatherman and a lot of people use the pliers, but sometimes you don't want to, like, if you're working on some type of mechanical engine or something like that, it's good to have the right tool for the right job. These are shears. These are scissors. These are Electricians Scissors. So they're not only good for paper and such like that, but there are different notches up here for stripping wire and a whole bunch of other stuff. These are very valuable. I highly recommend these as opposed to just getting paper shears. Okay, excellent, good stuff. This is a combination of hex wrenches. Okay, so it's from 1/20th to 5/32. So these have a multitude of, Allen's keys or hex wrenches, whatever you want to call it. They have bigger sets, but for me, I don't want to carry a big bulky set of this stuff, so I kind of just use the small one. These are called Star or Torx. Alright, and I don't know where I found these, but I had these in a bunch of other stuff, and normally stuff like this is going to be made for like rifle scopes and things like that, so you'll probably get this with a set, which is why I keep them handy, because like I said, sometimes I go to the range and I just throw the stuff in my bag just to have it in case I need it. Alright, this is a Eaton tool. Alright, obvious, simple. There's been a lot of times where I've just been someplace and I needed a spoon or a fork or a spork and nothing was available, and this kind of is pretty compact. It comes with a bottle opener, it's a spork, it comes with a couple different wrench bits, and of course it comes with the screwdriver edge, or if you wanted to open up a can you can do that as well. So that kind of works pretty good. In here I also have a couple chem lights or glow sticks. That works, you know, they're about 12-hour glow sticks. Excellent piece of kit, highly recommended. Inside here, this is a miniature fishing kit. Now, I probably will never use this, but again, I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Wrapped around here is the fishing line, and inside here, this is a little pillbox. I have my fishing lures, I have weights, and I have little tiny hooks. Again, to each his own. If you think you need it, put it in there. If not, you can leave it out. Not a big deal. Couple extra batteries I just kind of have laying in here. Those are AAA's. For my water purification, I'm just going to use a Sawyer Mini, and the Sawyer Mini does come with a straw. There is no, as you can take a look here, there's not any type of a bladder or anything like that, but what I like about the Sawyer Mini, it will screw onto pretty much any bottle, I think 16 ounce or something like that. So being in an urban environment, I also carry water bottles in my truck. It wouldn't be too hard. You could also use it if you need to use it as a straw. If you need to drink straight out of the pond, you could also do it that way. It also hooks up to camelbacks, so I really like that little device. It's excellent. I have a button compass here that will slip onto your watch, so if you're carrying a watch that does not have a compass on it, you could use that. I also have crazy glue, because there's multiple applications for crazy glue, and having glue just always at the last minute, you definitely need it. I have a tops whistle in there for signaling if you need it. Some fire tinder. These are just little cotton tinders. They go up well, they work great. Some duct tape. Alright, this is SOL duct tape. It's a small little hank, alright, or roll or whatever you want to call it. Ultimately, to make it flat if you want, you could wrap it around a old business card. I do have some cordage. This is bank line. Bank line to me, and especially the lighter stuff, works pretty good. It's tough nylon cord, and what they do is they waterproof it by either tarring it or I don't know, some type of waterproof coating on it. And this little hank right here do me just fine. Now I know there's a lot of guys that are gonna say, oh, you gotta do 550 cord and this and that, and yeah, I could tell you right now, the only thing I'm really probably going to use that for is if I break a shoelace. You know, I mean, honestly, I'm not setting up a tent or whatever, but if something breaks or I need a repair kit or I need to sew something together, that type of bank line will work excellent. Excellent. So that's why I always carry it. The multi-tool I carry in here is my Leatherman Wave. I have a couple Leatherman Waves, but I like to keep this in here, and I also added the pocket clip to it in case I got to take it out and put it on my person. You know, this has blades, bits, files on it. Alright, it has all kinds of great tools on this thing, and ultimately you don't really need to maybe not have all these screwdrivers, but for me personally, I find that when it comes to screwdrivers, not one thing fits all, so it depends on the size of the screwdriver, or like I said, if you're at the range, or if you're fixing your car, or whatever the case is, sometimes the tools just don't fit, but a multi-tool is an excellent option, and it comes with a whole bunch of tools, which I'm a big fan of. Inside here, I carry a couple of zip ties. There's only 6 of them in here. Not a big deal, but like I said, if you're somewhere and you're stuck and you just want to latch something really quickly, they're not overly strong, but if you needed to make a quickie shelter or whatever and zip tie some things together, you can, and of course obviously repairs. I also have in here my sewing kit. This is a very small sewing kit. It does have all kinds of buttons and spools of thread, safety pins. This right here, this yellow thread, I believe is Kevlar thread, so it's very, very tough, and a couple of different items in there that work very well in a pinch, especially if you need a patch. That's what this patch is for, actually. This little patch is a piece of cloth that if you need to, you could sew a patch onto your clothing. And I know it doesn't seem like a big deal, but if you're out in the woods somewhere and you're stuck and you have ripped your clothing, what happens is a lot of times dirt and debris will get in there and it'll start rubbing your skin off and cause abrasions, and you might not feel too comfortable. Alright, this is just a regular tape for measuring things. I know it sounds funny, but a lot of times we don't carry rulers anymore because it's just not necessary. But again, if you wanted to hang something up or you need to know the exact size of something, trying to, let's say you're out in the woods or out in the field and you need to get a part and you're calling your buddy, hey listen, I need this part or whatever, and it's 37 inches long and you don't know what a 37 inch looks like, well, that tape measure will help you out tremendously. I have in here needles, pins, and all kinds of sewing implements. Alright, that's what that's for. It's for that sewing kit. This is called a Silcock, I believe it is, and it has different square measurement wrenches on here, okay, as you can see right there. And what this is for water spigots. So if you live in an urban environment like I do, hospitals, schools, major metropolis buildings, what they do is they have a spigot on the outside of the building. But to stop people from using the water of the building, because most places have to pay for it, and we don't want to waste water, what they'll do is they'll take the nozzle off, or they'll take the handle off, and they'll just use one of these to actually turn the water faucet on and off. And I find that's a tremendous help, especially if you're stuck somewhere and there's nobody around and nobody can help you. Trying to use a Leatherman on that thing will not work. It's kind of a pain in the ass. So that tool right there, very cheap. You can find them on Amazon. Alright, I also have a Beeswax Candle in here. Excellent. You could use it for lighting, you could use it for heating, you could use it for cooking your food if you needed to. obviously to make fires, but I find having a candle as opposed to all the other stuff, it's extremely beneficial, and I just keep it in a Ziploc to keep it nice and clean. This is the Exhumer 8. I got this at the local hardware store. This is considered a pry bar, mostly for nails, but it has a couple other features. Now, if you see inside this thing, I don't have anything for prying or for leverage or a hammer, so I kind of wanted to use this as such. It also comes with, again, another wrench or socket type bit. It also comes with a bottle opener, so in case you get thirsty you can use a bottle opener. This part is the flathead. You could use it for banging in nails or tent stakes or whatever, breaking glass, whatever you need it to. Both sides come with nail pullers, but it has a little bit of leverage on it and a little bit of weight to it, and most people might think that that's not necessary, and maybe they are right, but however, I like to have it again, and I think that if there's something in there that's, you know, I need to bang on something or to give it a little weight, I'm not going to use my hand, I'm not going to use a club. At least I have something in there that I could use for a little bit of leverage, and I think for a small little 8-inch piece of steel, this works out pretty good. Alright, not overly expensive. I have a little bit of wire. You could use it for snare wire if you want, or for repairs or something like that. This is my fire steel. This is made from, I think it's firesteel.com. I always trust them to make good fire steels. This is 6-inch by a 1/2 inch, and man, and it comes with the striker, and man, does this thing throw a lot of sparks. I won't do it here because I do not want to start fire to my nice little canvas, but excellent piece of kit. You should always have a fire steel on you anyway, included with all the other fire making material. Speaking of which, I have this. This, I believe, is, I forget what they call it, like a parabellum type of fire. I don't know. It's very, very thin. You could use it for reading, actually. So if you're blind like me, you could use it for reading. But what it will also do is it'll help you make fires if you need to, and it's very lightweight, very small, and you can get that on Amazon, no big deal. Same thing with this. This is the Ultra Flash Ultra signaling mirror. Okay, I just keep it in here so it doesn't get all scratched up. You could use it for signaling. You could also use it for shaving your face or anything else you think you might need. Alright. The last bit of kit that I'm going to have is my space blanket. Now this space blanket is the SOL space blanket. Okay, it's a little bit bigger. It's made for 2 people. It's not made just for one. And I know there's a lot of guys that carry those little tin foil, aluminum foil, whatever, space blankets, but I'm telling you right now, those things are impossible to work with. If you bring them into the field, they will rip. You basically have to get naked in order for them to work, and I'm not getting naked if I'm already cold, so I don't like to tend to use those. A bivvy would be better, but I'm not going to fit a bivvy inside here. This is just a little extra something if somebody's cold, or I could add it to something else. I can just throw them the space blanket, and because it's for 2 people, it's a lot better than just one, especially if you're a big person. Okay, so it has maximum amount of coverage, and that's pretty much it, guys. All right, so like I said, ideally this type of kit is mostly for a base camp, mostly for tools that I might need on the everyday. I'm not going to be carrying this every day. I'm mostly going to be staging it somewhere, or maybe I'll have this in my vehicle in case I need a little bit of extra tools. So that's it. Go to 3riverblades.com if you are interested or are looking for a awesome custom handmade knife. And as always, stay safe out there. Talk to you soon.